Rahimzadeh. Welcome to Let's Go.podcast. It's good to have you here, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we have Jordan Jamiola, my co-host.
Hey, what's up? Welcome, Ollie.
Yeah, so everybody knows we are in our new setup, a new podcast setup. Ollie, you're the first guest that we're having on here with, so we could pay homage to your dog. So let's put our glasses up for Xerxes, which is in the photo behind or to the left of Ollie. His beautiful dog passed away a few weeks ago. And I told Ollie we're going to always remember him. We're going to have him on our wall here in the podcast studio. So here's the Xerxes, man.
To Xerxes.
Xerxes.
Thank you. Yeah, what a great picture.
Are the cameras out? Tanya.
What? It's red.
Oh, cool. I just want to make sure. Okay.
That's well, I'm sorry to hear about your dog, dude.
Thank you.
It's never easy having a pet for a while. How old was she?
It was a boy. Yeah, he was 10 years old. He lived a ripe old age of 10. He was crushing it, and then all of a sudden got a cancer diagnosis out of nowhere. And yeah, it only lasted a couple months after that, but he pushed through right to the end. Went to the beach a couple times. Hung out with Uncle Tim.
So awesome. Right yeah, we took our dogs to the beach. I think I had Roxy that time. Yeah, my little one. But it was cool because your dog Xerxes, dude, he's so rad. Dude, his dog just ran to the shore where the waves were breaking out coming in and just flopped down the water.
No way.
Yeah, just hanging out.
This is great.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then Roxy, I rescued her last year. That was her first time at the beach. So she's kind of like bringing her feet up, acting all weird, doesn't know, like, what is this water and sand? But it was a lot of fun, dude.
Oh, dude, she was beyond stoked. Yeah, and she was climbing all over Xerxes. It was a great day.
Oh, it was freaking rad, dude. But yeah, dude, you brought him to the station a few times, so everybody knows. Ollie and I know each other from our careers, from our jobs, and yeah, you've actually done pretty well. Off probation now, baby. Let's go. So yeah, we want to bring you here on the podcast, dude. I think there's a lot of cool things we can talk about, especially from your background and your father and everything you got going on, dude, which is pretty rad. So yeah, dude. But going off that, you are what's your nationality?
So I'm a mix. I'm German and Persian.
Oh man,
but probably more Persian than anything.
I'm a mix too, baby.
Yeah, you're a healthy mix.
Got that extra tendon, son. Okay, but so we're
is that what you said? An extra tendon?
Yeah, I got extra
tendon. That fast twitch.
All right. Hey, dude.
Yeah, there you go. Are you first generation?
No. Well, my dad came over during the Revolution, so technically on his side I am, but my mom's family was already here.
Okay, when you say revolution, so people know, what are you talking about?
Yeah, sorry. So in Iran in the 70s, there was a big revolution, in case anybody doesn't know about it. But yeah, there was a huge revolution where it was a monarchy, and then it was being taken over by more of the religious side of it. And, whatever your opinion is on that, it is what it is. But a lot of people were trying to escape the country, and my dad was able to actually make it over here. So,
holy cow!
Yeah, man. At 17 years old, doesn't speak a lick English. Going to college courses at Long Beach. So,
okay, so the revolution, who was I don't want to say king, but who was like the president at that time or in charge of? It was Iran, right? You're saying?
Yeah. So it is a king. It was a monarchy.
That's right, king, right? I didn't want to misspeak.
He was a shah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he murdering a bunch of people at the time, or what?
I don't know the full details of everything. I know that there's always, with a monarchy, like you're always getting like some oppression. It seems like every level of government, there's some kind of oppression. But there was a huge religious kind of uprising. And there was like a lot of stuff that people weren't happy with. So they kind of gained speed. And as that took off, the Ayatollah, who's like in charge now, he's the religious leader. He's the one that's basically in charge now.
Dude, and your dad, so how'd your dad get here?
He hopped on a flight, man. I mean,
that was it? He just got in a plane and flew out of here?
My dad was very quiet. Yeah, my dad was very tight-knit. Like, he didn't really give out too much information about anything, but he's like, I just came over here with your uncle, when we were teenagers, and that was pretty much the only story I got out of it.
Damn.
So I'm sure he had to pull some strings or something, but yeah. So like I couldn't go back for a long time because there's a chance I could go to the Army.
So, oh, no kidding.
Really?
They would recruit you, huh?
Yeah, they would just pull you out of line. So
that's the the conflicts of the Middle East and like kind of how it is. I feel like there's a lot of people like have a similar story. I was telling you earlier, like my mom's side of the family, they're from Beirut, Lebanon, but they came over like when my grandfather was like really little, and there was like they had like Civil War. I feel like it's always kind of a similar thing, right? You either have a power topple of a regime, or you have like this kind of like Civil War style. And I'm not an expert on the history of any of those places, so I won't claim to be.
Yeah.
But it's rad to hear the stories because it's like, I remember talking with my grandma. It's like she came over here. My great grandfather was alive at the time, but anyway, it's like they came over with nothing, and it's like they lived in Burbank. Which I don't know if you've ever been to Burbank. There's a lot of Middle Eastern people there. Like Burbank Airport, Like,
Yeah.
But, I can say it, man. This is my family, you know what I mean? But anyway, but it's just interesting like to hear it's like they come over with nothing and just, again, right? It's just that whole kind of American dream following. And I think she said she worked for Warner Brothers for a while. She was a singer, like whatever. But anyway, but yeah, that's rad, man.
No, it's cool because like you said, the American dream, that what that meant back then was like coming here from nothing and building yourself up. And that's something that my dad was like actually able to do. He came here with nothing. He learned the language. He learned the customs. He put himself through school, doing like odd jobs, and then eventually ended up taking over a business and making it super successful. And it's like, that was like the epitome of it. Like sometimes I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go to work today. I'm like, what am I complaining about? Like, this guy's been killing it for the last 4 decades.
That's amazing. Your dad comes over here, works hard, and is successful, and he didn't ask for anything for free. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine what hard work can get you.
Hard work and perseverance.
My gosh, because nowadays, as we all know, nobody wants to freaking work. But, I mean, it goes to prove a point. I've always noticed, and it seems like, and I know Sam too, her family, I think mom and dad, right, came over on a boat.
Yeah, on a boat.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing, or kind of the same thing, immigrated, but
for sure.
Because of the freedom we have. And and we talk about this at work often, because, you and I are partners, same rig and all that. And, but it's like, people forget how good we have it. The freedoms that we have, the freedom to be anything that you want to be. Yeah, I mean, literally you can be homosexual, transgender, you can go be an astronaut, you can be a firefighter, police officer, you can be a pro surfer, you can be an engineer, whatever you want to be, you can start your own business. No problem, freedom. Whereas, let's think about your dad's country where he came from. Just think if someone would go over there and try to be homosexual or transgender.
Yeah,
they would probably get murdered.
Yeah.
Not a popular.
No, not at all.
Not in that realm of the world.
No. So to come, that's why I love stories like that where, your dad comes over and, I mean, it takes some guts, right? I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. I leave America, right, and go somewhere else. I don't know the language, and I need to start a business or get a job, and have a you have a family. That would be very terrifying. Oh, it would be so hard
to leave Orange County. Was like terrifying. I could imagine travel to a different continent altogether.
Right,
like,
right. He was 17.
Yeah, he was 17 when he came over.
I didn't know what I was doing when I was 17, bro. I was probably still playing video games, doing surfing.
I was at the beach and not caring about anything. Yeah, and this guy was worried about how am I going to start a family.
I know, dude.
I think it's just like a generational perspective sometimes, and like what you're saying, Tim, like, oh my God, bell down.
No.
That wasn't worthy of a bell ring. Man. What I just said. No, what's interesting is that perspective of it, where like, you have people that leave a country and then they come here with nothing and they just make something out of it. Right. And it's just that will to strive, will to learn and embrace the culture or whatever, and then use that to catapult, whether it's a career or a family or both. And it sounds like in your dad's case, it's interesting when I feel like when we have these kind of conversations, because it's really easy to be like, what's this next generation doing? Right. Because you kind of hinted on that a little bit as far as like, it's like people want things for free, or like they're giving you money, and it's like kind of incentive reduction stuff, as far as like
100%.
Why do we do that? And I think the reality is that like there are tons of people that have the grind, that are willing to do whatever it is. The problem is I feel like as society stretches a little bit more, we kind of run into like a 50-50 split, where it's like half don't want to do anything because you feel like you're owed something. Whether that may be true or not, like I'm not in the position to say that, but the other half's just like, I don't get out of my way. You know what I mean? Like, I got shit to do. I'm going to do whatever I can. And it's like, but those are the people that you're like, wow, like, look at you go. Like, that's awesome. That's the inspiration stuff. So it's always rad to hear that.
Definitely, like, there's a lot of entitlement, I feel like, and then there's also that kind of like where if you do work hard and stuff, it seems like now, even if you work hard, you don't get the reward that you used to. You can't have that, you know, that family, that house, that successful business. Like, it's so hard to get ahead now.
Oh, inflation's ridiculous. It's through the roof. It's through the freaking roof.
It's wild.
I want to. What are you talking about? It's so cheap. We're doing fine.
There's no economic crisis. No.
Well, dude, eggs are a luxury now. It's beautiful, dude.
Hey, shout out if anyone's looking for cheap eggs, Trader Joe's bar none has the cheapest eggs on the market right now. $3.99 for a 12-pack of brown eggs.
I wish you would have told me that earlier. I just bought 2 packs of eggs, and it was like
fucking $50.
Yeah, that was my whole paycheck right there.
Well, it's just like, I don't know. There's just so many things. There's so many pieces of that, right? Where it's like we're talking about buying food. I mean, gas always seems to be something that's lingers as far as price go, even though we were hitting summer blend like 6 months ago. And, you know.
Can you imagine what the prices are going to be during the summer, though? It's going to go up.
Probably $7.
California doesn't even have seasons. Why do we have a summer and a winter?
I mean, that's a good point. But dude, I got a 30-gallon tank.
That's no joke.
No, it ain't no joke.
That's like $180 right there.
Dude, you nailed it. It's usually between 180 to like 188. But it does last me 2 weeks. It lasts me for a long time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, 2 weeks is pretty
weeks?
good for a fuel tank.
So you're just under $400 a month then, kind of, if you don't have any like crazy trips or anything.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not. I mean, I just got back from SLO. I think I filled up with fuel one time.
But that's $400 a month for one vehicle and fuel. $400.
Why do you gotta shut up? Why do you guys gotta do that? I don't want to think about it.
Look, dude, I have a truck and my wife drives a Tahoe. Believe me, I pay a lot in gas.
She's running errands in that thing too, dude.
Well, right. Well, she's more of a daily driver, right, with the kids and whatnot. Right. So it's like, we're not gonna not do things, you know. But it's like one of those acceptable. Like, it's like, okay, well, I just got a budget for this now.
Well, what is he gonna do, right? I mean, it's not like you're not going to pay for gas. You got to get around and do stuff. So, I mean...
Looks like I'm working 4 more days overtime.
Yeah. Oh, man. When I fill up the Mercedes RV, oh, dude.
Oh, that thing's...
That hurts, man. Because diesel's... Yeah, diesel's over $6. And I think that's I think it's a 30-gallon tank, too.
Oh, it's got to be a big boy.
Or 35. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
At least it'll run forever.
It does. I mean, that's what I take to the beach all the
engine.
time. I don't even take my regular vehicle. I always, because I have my boards in there. But
oh yeah,
dude, when I fill that thing up, though, I'm like, oh my god! Like, thanks, Biden. Appreciate you, buddy.
It costs so much money just to enjoy life a little bit.
Oh, dude, I know, dude.
Sound like our parents.
Yeah, dude, I made that transition about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's like things I never thought I would care about anymore are now like. It seems like all I talk about.
Just started tucking your shirt into your jeans and wearing mandals.
Don't get me started.
Cargo shorts and New Balances.
No, dude.
Tube socks.
Don't you ever tuck your shirt into your freaking... I will hammer you so hard.
What if I did? Tim?
No, don't do it, dude. Don't. Because everyone who does that, they're rule followers. They don't have any fun. Okay? But they can break the rules, but we can't. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Might be talking about a certain person. Don't want to say a name. Anyways. But something that's actually pretty significant for you, your dad has recently passed away.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And he had cancer, right?
Yeah. Cancer's got a personal vendetta against me right now, man.
No, man. So what cancer did he have?
So he had melanoma that started in his fingernail bed, which is like, I guess, the worst kind you can get. And
that's gnarly.
I apologize if I'm overstating that, but
no.
I guess it's like the most one of the more aggressive forms of it.
Is that okay? So real quick, they're saying what was the cancer again? I don't want to melanoma under his fingernail beds.
Yeah.
Okay, is that from him just being outside all the time, working on stuff, or did they say how it starts in the nail beds?
They said it's a lot of like the one thing that I've from all the cancer research people that I've talked to, doctors and nurses and researchers and experimental medicine people. Yeah. It's been like a 6 or 7 year process with this cancer. So we've talked to a lot of people, and it's like a number of things that can cause the cancer, right? So he was involved in like working with metals, chemicals, lead, all that. I mean, the guy did odd jobs for the first handful of years he was here.
Right.
And then when he was at a company, you know, all the dipped, you know, like metals and stuff like that, stuff super cancerous, and there wasn't always the best, you know, laws in place to protect people.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, I didn't think about that because we deal with that a lot in our job field.
100%.
Especially with the Tesla fires.
Yep.
All the smoke and how, I mean, I was reading something the other day that FDNY is getting multiple lithium ion battery fires a day in people's apartments because, you know, in New York, they don't have cars.
No.
Most of them have, now they went from bicycles to like e-bikes or scooters, right? And they're sitting in their house charging and stuff. I mean, we had a fire. We had one with lithium ion battery, dude. They had like, I think they had 3 or 4 scooters plugged into one like surge protector or something.
Just like
We had that warehouse one too, and that was like thousands of batteries.
But there's metal in there that can significantly impact us.
100%.
Significantly impact us, especially because the absorption rate of our turnouts, you know, on our bodies. And what that can do to our future. I mean, we've already had a few guys retire off of that. I'm sure there's going to be more.
And they weren't even saying like it wasn't like inhalation related. It was like transdermal, like through the skin.
Yeah.
Like it was super like exposure through the skin. I couldn't believe it. It's like, holy smokes, because we just stay in our turnouts for hours on those. You know?
Right.
Well, like you were saying, dude, like, and first of all, I'm so sorry to hear about your father.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Like, you know, I'm
just going to throw this out there real quick.
Building, dude, like, it's got to be so hard, dude.
So his dad was transitioning, we say, right, for months.
Okay.
But he was still on probation and still crushed it.
Nice.
You got to hand it to somebody who can get through and pass all their tests so people
During the
know.
process.
Yeah, when people know, you get hired with the fire department, you got to go through your probation. There's a lot of testing. And it's rigorous. There's a lot to know. There's a lot of commands. I mean, not everyone makes it through probation. And then on top of that, add your personal life in with your father, you know, having cancer and dying. I mean, I got to give you props are due, dude. I mean, I don't know how I could handle that. That's very tough.
Yeah.
So I would like to tell you, because I worked with you during that time, you know, you always call me a junior officer. You're stupid. But I was,
J.O.
Yeah. But I was very impressed. You took that, you handled that very professionally, and you didn't let it get in the way of your future and the things you're doing. And dude, honestly, good job. That's a lot to handle, bro.
Thank you, man.
A lot to handle.
That was a rough year because we got displaced from our apartment for a little bit.
Right.
My mom had the same thing, terminal diagnosis. Pops, same thing. Dog.
Oh no, your dog.
Yeah. It's just been one heck of a year. But you know, I had guys like you know, people support me from all over the place, and that was really the only reason why I was able to get through. Because I didn't feel like I was crushing it. I felt like I was in quicksand, you know. But
good dude.
No, it was a tough experience. People have it a lot worse than I do, but it was cool to have the support I did.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's a family, dude, and as you guys know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jordan.
It's okay.
We're gonna go back, but I think this also shows what's so unique about the fire service and the jobs that we chose to do. And that even in our toughest times in our private life, we still kind of come together as family. And I'll be real. I came from a small department. Now I work for a big one. It's definitely different.
100%.
Very, very different. You came from a small department when you came over to the current organization, and it has a different feel. I think every department has its good and has its bad. But still, at the end of the day, at station level where we're at, we take care of each other.
100%.
We have to. Yeah. I mean, because we go through a lot. We see a lot. And just like our last episode, we had Matt from the Dirty Deuce on here. I mean, it wears on you. Because now you're seeing, you know, in our career field, we see people die almost every day, right? That's not normal. That is not normal to see. The most people in their regular life will not see other people get killed in violence and other terrible ways that they're going to pass away, even suicide, right? And then we come to work, and we also have to deal with our personal lives. People who are married, who are going through a tough time in marriage, or you have a parent who's got a, you know, diagnosis of an illness that's going to take them away soon. That's hard. And on top of expectations at work.
Oh yeah.
It's wild. It's so unique and difficult in its own right that a lot of people will never understand until they're in our shoes. and why it's so hard, I've noticed, for me to relate to people and confide in people who aren't like us, who didn't choose the career path that we did, because they're never going to understand.
Yeah.
You know, because let's be real, our humor's dark as hell.
Oh yeah.
We are dark. Dude.
My humor has taken a significant turn for the worse.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. But
You
it's
have to.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna go crazy.
Right?
I mean, that's just the reality
Right.
of it. Like
That-
you see a lot of sad stuff. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
See, now I'm cutting you.
No, you're good, bro. Go ahead.
No, and I just want to say, dude, your dad's fucking proud of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Like, I mean, obviously, not what anyone can project or want to go through, but the fact that you're successful in that process, and hopefully that can bring family together, and hearing that you have the support from the work end, is great to hear.
Yeah.
And that's. It's kind of like you're constantly in that pay it forward. You know what I mean? Because the unfortunate part of it is that you for sure are going to be working with someone who probably goes through something similar that you did.
Oh, absolutely.
So in the future, right? That's that whole like, hey, dude, like you're going to get through it, And just that's a crazy story, man. Again, I don't know. I get all sentimental with that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm sure like we all do, but to do that on probation, like I don't think Tim's selling it hard enough. You know what
absolutely.
I mean,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like if that would have been like through a probationary period, that'd be like closest I'd become to quitting. You know what I mean? Just because like I can't handle all that on top of the personal life. So the fact you did that, dude,
It's exceptional,
off to
dude.
you.
Yeah, I mean, it's gosh, dude. At the end of the day, it's great that we have our careers and jobs, and I tend to shy away from a lot of people in our career field as firefighters who make the job number one.
Yeah.
I love when I hear guys say I love my job. I'm like, bro, you better get a reality check, dude. I love my family. I like my job.
Yeah.
I'll do well at my job. I'll work hard. But at the end of the day, you can't take it with you, dude. And when you retire, no one's gonna give a shit about you. Straight up, I'm gonna be real. Like, no one cares. They might care a little bit, for hey, he retired, good job, he's gone. But they're gonna fill that seat with someone younger and cheaper, and they're gonna promote somebody, and that's it. Right? Think of all the guys who retired the past few years. I don't know. They put their names up on the wall. They send emails out. Hey,
Right,
thanks.
you get the email.
Yeah, you
You're
get
like,
the email.
who's
You're
that
like,
guy?
who's this dude? Right?
Like, well, good luck, bro.
I have no idea.
Yeah, and
you
you're
guys
like,
don't know. I
okay.
don't know.
Yeah, and it's not like we don't want to be close to these people, but reality is like what's most important really is your loved ones, the people in your close circle. Those are the things you can take with you. Those are the people who are going to be with you on your deathbed. Not the people at work, dude.
Yeah. I was definitely fortunate to like be able to have the support at work and at home. My girlfriend, you've met her. She was a rock star. Through
Super
the whole thing.
rad.
Yeah. But I was super lucky in that aspect that I had the support, because I definitely wouldn't have made it without it. It was 100% not me that made it. It was like the people that were carrying me along the way, for sure.
Dude, hell yeah.
Because it takes a village, especially when stuff like that's going down. And
Oh yeah.
my village isn't very big, so it's like to have what I had was awesome. Guys like you and stuff stepping up for me. And I came from a small department where I was stuck at work a lot, or
Yeah.
I worked a bunch of overtime, and
Yeah.
I missed out on a lot of good years with the family. And then like that stuff just puts it even more in perspective. It's like you were saying, the job it's a job.
Yeah.
And your family is your
It'll
family.
always be there,
It'll
dude.
always be
It'll
there.
always be there. You'll have opportunity to always make more money. And you bring up a really, really, really good point. In my earlier years in this career, I used to pick up a lot of overtime, and I can see where I made a mistake and I wasn't home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my first marriage definitely paid a price on that one.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's more important, making $1 or spending that time with the person that you love and building something close relationally and getting to know each other on a very deep level, right?
Yeah.
There's regret there for me. And that's why I try to, it's like you want to work a little overtime and do well, but then you got to try and find that fine balance of being home also. And I see a lot of people make mistake on that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, divorce in our career field is a freaking epidemic, dude.
Oh yeah, it's got to be up there like 50,
Oh, it's
60,
so
70% or something.
Yeah, it's so freaking high.
It used to be one of the top career fields of divorce. I don't know where it ranks in the pecking order anymore, but I can't imagine that it's much different. And you make a good point, dude. And like that, honestly, what you're talking about, I struggle with all the time. I was like married, got 2 kids, and I mean, right now I work whether I want to work or not. It seems to be a popular thing. But either way, I've always been an overtime person. Like that's what I That's what I build my extra money on in order to hopefully be able to invest in other things and do stuff like this or with the barbershop and things like that, you know? So it's like I rely a lot on that. And it's one of those things that it's great to have. And so when I say that, I'm very fortunate that I have that opportunity. There's no question about it. But it comes at a price.
100%.
And that price is time. You know, and, you know, it's like, you know, whether you're talking about like, you know, when departments do negotiations and things like that, you know, and it's like you're always wanting more money. I mean, the big whoop, it's everybody wants it, right? But I think the reality is it's like, dude, like in the times that we're in currently, we're joking about eggs being $5 for a carton of eggs, but that's the reality of it, is like to sustain some sort of lifestyle or to live in, especially to live in Orange County or in the adjacent to Orange County, is super expensive. So it's like you kind of get handcuffed into that situation where you're like, dude, I gotta, you know, I need this much to be able to make it every month, you know? And it's like, which again, so fortunate that I can do it, but it's like, now it's like, okay, well, I got 2 days with my kids and my wife, you know, what are we going to do in 2 days? You know, it's like my wife always, and like, God bless her. And like, I'm not saying this in a bad way at all, but it's always like, we're kind of in a rush no matter what.
Oh yeah.
You know, where it's like, hey, we got to get this done, or we're going to go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. Boom. Day one's done. We're like, okay, I got one more day. You know, all right, what can we do today? And it's like, sometimes we just want to sit down and do nothing and just enjoy the company, you know, but
especially if you have like a rough tour. I mean, I have a dog and a girlfriend, and you know, I feel like that's a hard enough to balance, to have a wife and kids and all the other stuff associated.
Yeah.
You know, like you work those days, and say you have a hard tour, you need like a half day just to reset sometimes, you know.
Straight up.
And it's like
maybe a day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say a half day, bro. Like, I mean,
I was being conservative, but
no, but you're absolutely right. You know, it's like coming off shift, like, you know, whether you're working, let's say the standard schedule of a 48, or you're working a 72, or sometimes a 96, right? You know, not every station has the luxury of like, oh, I got 5 hours of sleep last night. I got 6 hours of sleep last night, which to the standard person, it's so funny when we talk about like, you know, we get all the health PSAs and all this stuff. Your testosterone is down because you don't sleep. Your cholesterol is up because you don't sleep. You're going to die early because you don't sleep. But we're sitting here going, fuck, what do we do? Because how do we do it? Because
I guess I'll pick up an extra shift.
Hey, I haven't seen the memo come in that goes mandatory. Everyone sleeps till 10 tomorrow. That's not a thing.
No, wake up at 7.
Yeah, you just get up and do it again.
Maybe,
you know,
maybe 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
maybe someone was push it.
You have a cool crew.
I gotta drive, bro.
Dude.
I gotta drive. I need some sleep.
I don't want him to go to
Straight up.
Well, okay, but that again, right? What an interesting situation, because like OSHA requirements, like if you go strike teams and you do certain stuff, there's a mandatory amount of time. Like if you're the driver operator, that you can only drive for before you mandatory have to have a rest period, right? Where's that on the other end? Now, again, I know there's certain things you don't want to lobby for that, and like I'm not. Let me have my little disclaimer: not a professional or an expert in any way, so I could be dumb. But at the end of the day, right? There's certain things where it's like, you know, we just lack that in this career field, and it definitely carries over into your home life. So going back to the whole, you know, whether it's relationship problems or having time to keep connections with families and whatnot, like, dude, it's a struggle.
Oh, yeah.
You know, now we all do it, you know, and we do our best at it, and that's all you can do. But it's like, when we talk about how can we change things, you know, like it's like, do we really want to change things, or are we just saying that shit so like people are like, oh yeah, we should change, make it better, and it's like nothing changes.
Yeah, well, and you're always worried about the consequences, and it gets in the way of making good change, you know. But it's one of those things where it's like such an entangled web of issues. Like what's the right way to fix it? You know, what's the right answer? You know, it's like you could say that with most things going on today, but it's like, do we fix the education for the public so they know what's emergency? Do we fix the healthcare system? I mean, who knows what the answer is?
I would be interested to, like, if there was like a massive poll to say like, how much money do you think a firefighter should make? You know, what does that look like on a broad spectrum? So if you had a couple million people, like, and you just put up a couple things, you're like 60,000, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000. What do you think firefighters should make? with the list of what your job is, right? Because it's like I worked with a colleague. He was a chief. This is long ago and for a different department, but he always made the comment that you get paid not for what you do, but what you're willing to do. And I feel the same way about the military. Like I think the military is severely underpaid.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh,
It's like, and obviously you can break it into sections. It's like if you're out there like on the front line fighting, or if that's what you're trained to do, I think you should be making a lot of money. Now if you're a clerical worker, again, not saying that one isn't more important than the other, but you're probably not going to take a bullet as a clerical worker, right? Just as if you're a police officer or a firefighter and you're running into danger. Now again, the caveat to that's always been, well, you signed up for it, and it's like, okay, that may be true. But if you're talking about like longevity of life and all this stuff, we've kind of hit at this point in this service industry that I feel like the old timers from back then, it was like, hey, you got this job because you can work 10 days a month. You have a pretty good pension at the end of your career, and it offers you the ability to do other workspaces or, different jobs and whatnot. But now it's like, well, okay, somewhere in the between, they either can't keep up with the amount of people that need to be hired. So you have openings, which creates forces, and then you get people understanding that it's like, well, I can make this much money working this many days, but doing that for a long period of time, what's the aftermath of that?
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's still, longevity of careers, it's like, I don't want to die as soon as I retire,
Well, that's the thing too, right? Is like your retirement age is getting pushed back with like being like 57 is the minimum now for most people, and it's like, and that's in our field. That's not necessarily like job, worldwide or anything like that by any means, but it is a hard job on the body and stuff. And it's like you said, you only have a few years after you retire statistically, like before heart disease and all that stuff starts getting to you. Cancer is the biggest one, right? So it's like,
we're bound to get it. That's the crazy part. It's like all the statistics show, like, we will get cancer as firefighter. It's going to happen.
You're in a room with me. You have a pretty good chance of getting it.
Come on, jeez, dude. The dark humor, there it is.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that.
It's a dark humor.
But it's the truth, and like we were talking about the lithium ion stuff earlier, which is kind of a big problem, and there's the individual who might have to medically retire because of an exposure from a call. And it's like, okay, that guy's been on for 15 years, let's say he was making $150,000 a year, not take home, but what he was grossing. What's that look like on the end of that? And how much, it's like, well, I guess if he was a savvy investor or had something else going on the side, is his only break to be able to actually, it's like, okay, so let's say everything pans out, goes through all the treatments, everything works out good, he's good to go, but can't work as a firefighter anymore. Well, now what's that? What are you going to be able to do moving forward?
I'd be so lost in the real world if that was the case, because all I know is pretty much this stuff is I was on the ambulance and I got hired as a firefighter.
What made you want to become a firefighter? Were you did you do the Explorer thing? Actually, you did do the Explorer thing.
I did, yeah, I did. I did.
I think we all did.
Yeah,
we all did it. Yeah.
To be honest, it's more family stuff. But my mom, when I was a kid, was actually T-boned in an accident. Somebody ran a red light and hit her driver's side, and the fire department, was able to like extricate her.
Yeah.
Cut her out of the car, and then she was crashing in the back of the ambulance, and she
what?
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Oh yeah, I was being a brat that morning too. Like, she dropped me off at school, and like I slammed the door, I'm pretty sure, without even being like, "Hey, thanks,"
Okay, is your mom white?
She is.
Okay.
She's.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, my mom's African American. That shit would not be happening.
No,
bro. She would rip my head off. Dude.
Well,
get your ass back in the car.
Dude, my soul would be taken out of my body, snatched.
It would have been on the ride home, so we were at speed and the doors were locked, so you can't like roll out or anything. It was tactical. But she ended up getting T-boned, and then like I said, she was in the ICU for like over a week, and then
dude,
initially I wanted to be like a fighter pilot, like every kid usually does.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
After that, I was like, all right, if I could, because like I got to say, hey, I'm sorry, and like I love you,
Yeah.
So like if I could do that for somebody, that'd be pretty cool.
So you got to see other humans have a direct impact on your mom's life and your life.
Oh yeah,
is what it was. Isn't that crazy? sometimes I think about that in our career field and what we do. It's become so normal for us, right? You had many years in your other department, and you came here, and Jordan and I have been 15 plus years doing our thing, but we don't think about it. We just, the bell goes off, we do our job, whether it's auto extrication, fire, drowning, whatever it is. We go, we do our thing, get the patient to the right hospital, boom, wipe your hands, call it good, next one. And we never really know, what's for dinner? I know. But we never really know the true impact that we're having. I always wonder that. How many people were inspired by something we did, or how many people are actually truly thankful for the work and training and education that we put in that actually affected a life and saved somebody. You always wonder that, right? Because I've heard it from many guys. I was hurt and the firefighters came and helped me, and I was like, man, I got to do this. Or like you, my mom or my sister, was in an accident, or my dad, and the firefighters came and they were so cool and they helped and did all this stuff. And I wonder, I'm like, God, I wonder how many times have we done something where we inspired somebody,
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, not like we're cool. I don't mean it.
No,
like that
yeah, not at all.
Like
it just makes you wonder.
But think about it, dude. I mean, like even like something as simple as helping someone back to bed, which
it's a lot,
thousands and thousands.
All in, I know that one.
Gravity is super heavy.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially with the full moon, gravitational shift. It's pregnancies and falls.
Yeah, 3 to 6 a.m. is interesting time for us.
Witching hour.
Yeah, but I mean, like. And that is part of the job, right? And like I think it's part of what, like, whether you are inspired to do that or you reach a point in your career where like, because I agree with you, Tim, I don't think about it as much like that anymore. It's just, for me, it's ingrained, like, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna help them as best we can, whatever that means, so, which is a very gray area of what that could potentially mean, but you're doing everything that you can to help these people who call. Which always makes me go back to the first question that I had, was like, what is that worth to people?
That's what I was going to say is like,
I like that.
So I've been on it, as a kid, I've been on the other side of the fence. And then, being a fireman, I was recently on the other side of the fence when my dad had, his last little set of issues come up, and, firefighters came out for that. That was a different experience, having to call 911, especially for the guy who's like, you only call 911 if you're dead or you're on fire, Like,
dude, my dad's the same way.
Yeah.
Never, dude.
Yeah.
Never call 911.
But, I had to call 911 out, and they came, and like the firefighters just, they went above and beyond for me, and like just being on the other side of that, like not being the firefighter in charge of the call, but being the patient's family. Yeah. Like it was. So I'm a little biased. I would say pay them whatever they want,
I'm also biased.
Yeah,
I would say that they deserve a healthy wage.
Well, there's a black. I want to say black and white. There's two sides to this, right? And we've always seen it, right? There's people. It's typically, be careful how I say this, but it's typically more people who are right-winged that are kind of against unions and us getting pay raises and making good money, whereas blue side Democrat is more unions. Let's give them more money. And sometimes I wonder when we're trying to get contracts and get more money and get a better pay for public service, for your police, fire, all of it, even our military, man, they should get paid way more, like Jordan said.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to say, what's it worth to you? So hear me out. When you get hurt or injured and you don't think we're worth what we're getting paid, don't call us. That's what I want to say sometimes. Then when you need help, and the people who want to defund the police, because when you defund the police, it's eventually going to hit the fire. Our budgets coincide.
Oh, yeah.
That'll happen one day. But it's like you want to defund them, and you look at all these cities that have done that. Now they're crying for the police to come back.
Well, you defund.
Well, I need help. It's like, I thought you didn't want us. I thought we got paid too much. What happened?
Yeah, now you need them.
Yeah, oh, now you need me, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's it. Like it really bugs me sometimes, and this is, we have to be. We will always stay professional. Our career field, we can't strike. We're not going to not run calls, whether we lose money or we get more money or whatever. Our work conditions are terrible. When you call 911, we still respond. We're coming out, and you best believe we're going to give our best shot for you. Our whole job and why we signed up for this is, I always tell rookies this: your number one goal here in job is life. You can replace a car, you can replace a home, pictures, people's belongings, but when the human soul is gone, It's gone. So you better do your job and do whatever it takes to help your citizen. And if that means lay down your life, you lay down your life. You sign on the dotted line for that. So I fully believe in that. I think all of us do, and all of our peers do. It just gets frustrating in our position sometimes when people are fighting us. It's like, you get paid. I hate when I hear that. I pay my taxes. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
how about taxes is fist your face, baby?
Yeah, you want to see my taxes?
He's kidding, everyone. He's kidding.
Yeah, no. I'm
not
kidding.
really.
No, I'm totally kidding.
I feel
It just sucks when you hear that, though. I hate that.
it's it just well, I mean, look, those comments or whatever. If there's a public member saying something like that to the fire, and I'm sure the police deal with that probably way more than we do, but I think that's where there's a sense of entitlement, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, I agree. I pay my taxes too. In fact, I hold the system very accountable, and it pisses me off when there's a lot of shit that's not getting fixed because I feel like I pay a healthy amount of money in taxes every year.
Well, all of us do.
You know, so I was almost, when I hear that, I'm like, I feel you. You know? What about these fucking potholes, dude? With my car, I was like, I need a new fucking tire, dude. It's been like that for 3 years.
My alignment's
You
off
know,
now.
I was like, I pay a lot of money in registration fees that this is supposedly going to, and I don't ever see it, you know. And it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, you know, you hope, you know, it's like, because you're kind of at that battle, right? Where it's like, you know, obviously you're going to do everything you can for people, and that's what you're getting paid to do, so you're going to do it. You know, you hope that it's well received, and I feel like a lot of people are always super gracious and nice.
Most
you know.
are, yeah. It's always that one off, dude. You're just like, come on, dude.
Until it comes to getting paid more, then everything kind of tightens up a little bit. It seems like, but you know what? I mean, that's just the process. I mean, and I want to touch on that just real quick before I forget. We do have an interesting situation in the city of Chicago. I don't know if you guys follow that at all, but the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, she lost. And this new gentleman that won, his again, like, I don't know, how do I say this? Like, I'm not saying this in a bad way, so I guess we'll see what happens. But more of like a progressive Democrat person. But one of the things that he came out and said is that they were going to do a hiring freeze for the police department in Chicago PD, and they're going to implement more of the social services to go out to try to mitigate issues. And I'm very curious to see how that's going to pan out.
It's going to fail. It's going to fail.
That's what I think, you know, from my personal beliefs and things that I've seen and how people act and whatnot, you know. And again, I'm not saying they're not trying something, but again, going back to because it's essentially defunding the police program by not hiring on new police officers. And, you know, we'll see if that sticks, but that came out like a week ago, and I was like, oh my God.
It's so stupid. Dude, okay, how many times have we been on calls, right? And it's, you know, quote unquote, it depends, right? Sometimes domestic violence is not, but it's a situation where it's people who are arguing, fighting, or whatever, and we have to wait for the police to come in and clear the scene. So you're going to tell me right now, you're going to send somebody in social services with no training on how to defend themselves. They got a degree. Go in there and handle the situation, guys.
Oh, social workers.
They're gonna get hurt. They're gonna get killed, if not sexually assaulted. A lot of the women that do that job. It's a terrible idea. I'm gonna put it out there. I think it's an absolute terrible idea.
I mean, unless they hire like 6'5" linebackers, dude, that are all happen to be social workers, then yeah, they might be okay, but that's probably not going to be the case.
I'll say is, mark my words, dude. It's going to bite them in the butt. I don't want it to. And let's be real. In a utopian world, I would love if there's no war, there's no stealing, murder, killing, people hurt each other. Reality is we're humans, and humans can be very evil, and they're going to hurt each other. You got to have rule and order and law. I totally believe in it. That's why I do not believe in the defund the police thing. Do I think police can go overboard sometimes? Absolutely. I think you're going to have shitty people in any job. Oh, yeah. Any job, you're going to have somebody who abuses power.
Yeah, no matter where you go, you're going to have turds, you know. It's just, it is what it is. But, you know, it's like you're talking about social workers responding to a violent or potentially violent scene. Like, you know, it's somebody who got a degree. They're not trained in combatives, and they're not trained in how to de-escalate situations necessarily. I mean, social working is a hard enough job as it is. Now you're going into some of like the meanest streets, and you're just sending them out there with, you know, basically a stapler in their hand, you know, not able to do anything. You know, it's like you're setting them up for a lot of bad things.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I was going to say, like, I've read some stuff because there's I think it's back east, but there was a city that got rid of the police department and went to this like community service based. So there's like policing system, but it's not like a city police department, right? And that's the model that I was hearing a lot when that was very popular topic of defunding the police and stuff. And it's like, okay, I guess, except for the fact that you forget that like this area is very small. The community is very small. It's like, what was the crime rates and stuff before? What kind of crimes were they? Were they petty? Was it theft? Was it violent? Whatever, right? Or shooting, stabbing, what have you. And it's like, again, it kind of goes back to that deal where it's like there's a lot of references to places, whether you're talking about defunding the police or some kind of socialist program or whatever, where they use these like areas that are like, oh, it works here. And you're like, dude, you're talking about an area that's smaller than the size of Rhode Island. That's a country that might be able to do something like that. Or in this case, a city that might be like the size of a smaller town in like a LA suburb, And, in this case being Chicago, which has one of the higher crime or violent crimes with guns and whatnot, which is ironic because they have like one of the strictest state gun laws.
Imagine that.
Go figure.
Imagine that.
So it's just interesting, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I just feel like getting rid of a public entity as far as the police department or trying to defund them or constrict them is probably not going to be the answer. Going back to what you guys said, are there terrible people that work those jobs? There's no doubt. Just like there's terrible doctors, firefighters, military people, government.
No.
I'm just kidding.
The government would never lie to us.
Not this administration. I'm sure they're
I don't support that. No, I'm just kidding.
I do not support this comment. But you know what I mean? And it's just like, I think what's interesting is that, it's like, look, when bad things happen, we point blame at something immediately, right? It's like the knee-jerk reaction to things. And again, not because when I say this kind of stuff, it's not because I want to continue to go down the same road. I also agree that change is important, because we're always trying to strive for something better, and I think that having that attitude will generally put us in a better situation society-wise. But I don't know about that. That seems so far, it's like, come on.
They're going to end up having to call the police anyways. They're going to have an extended ETA or
a call that comes in as an argument, and this they could say, hey, it's not that big of a deal. But you're walking in. I mean, dude, we have the opportunity to see people in their worst moments of life, right? It's having the worst day of their life, whatever. And we have to take in what's going on, analyze the situation, make a decision to try to help, right? And it's the same thing from a police officer's perspective, except different criteria of what they're trying to do. So if you're coming in and try to break up an argument between, let's say, friends, family, whatever, doesn't matter, you have no idea what's going on in a person's mind in that situation. And the reality is that person is probably not thinking like they did yesterday at this time, So it's like, and again, that doesn't mean that's not an excuse for bad behavior from a policing point, but to think that it's like everyone's just this like, oh, thank you for coming, we're going to do this, and everyone, it's like that's just not the world we live in.
Well, it's just like you're sending these social workers into these calls that they're domestic disputes, domestic violence, child abuse. I don't know if that's what their game plan is. I haven't really read up on it too much, but even if that were like remotely the case, if you look statistically, the most dangerous call outs for police officers are those calls, because it's like, well, hey, if somebody's willing to hurt their loved one or family member, they're not going to care about anybody else showing up to the scene.
No limits, baby.
But at the same time, like, those are very delicate, very like, it's like a tinderbox, you light a match in there, things could go completely haywire. And it's like, you send somebody in there that's unarmed and unequipped to help themselves,
You're asking for trouble. Yeah, you're asking for 100%. Trouble.
I'd be careful with that one.
I know, dude.
But that's just me.
Dude, so I want to go back to your dad here. So was your dad, was he Muslim?
No, not technically. I don't know if he was like, he definitely wasn't practicing. Okay. His father was a Haji who was like,
dude, Haji.
Well, that's a religious term of like.
Is it really?
It's a religious term.
So that's not derogatory.
No, it wasn't initially.
Okay.
When it first came about, no, it wasn't. But he was like, he's a religious, community member that's respected. Mm-hmm. he's made the trip to Mecca and all this stuff like that. But
That's wild.
but my pops wasn't necessarily practicing.
Did he raise you in it?
No.
Did he try?
No. They.
Okay.
I was fortunate that I had parents that were like I got both ends of the spectrum. I had Islamic background on one side and then Roman Catholic on the other, and it was like
wow.
So they were kind of like different worlds. And
See, that's interesting to me because how I was raised in a very religious home, it's like, I remember my parents like, don't ever date or marry someone who's not a Christian woman. It's just not going to work.
yeah.
And it's same with, maybe not Muslim, but usually you don't want to see someone who's Muslim marry someone who's
They'll have
along
to convert,
those lines, Catholic or Christian or something like that. So that's really interesting.
The enemy.
The enemy.
How are holidays?
They were fine. I mean, I had a kind of interesting family setup. Like, once we split up and stuff, everything was kind of a little bit different. But like when we were kids and stuff, we did Christmas and all that stuff. My dad wasn't like super hardcore on anything other than like, hey, make sure you work hard and make sure you show respect.
Old school.
Yeah, he was super.
So he really did come to America with an open mind.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, he loved his homeland. He loved where he was from. He was proud of what he was, but he was just, he was the kind of individual that understood like you have to learn the customs and everyday life of where you're moving to. You have to be able to integrate into the community.
Yeah.
And he was, he wanted to be something special and make something of himself, and luckily he was able to get out of there and do that.
Well, he started a business, right?
Well, he started working for a business, and then the business was already existent, and then he took it over.
Oh, that's how.
Yeah, so he ended up buying the business, and then he turned it into what it is today.
And that's yours now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty.
I mean, yes and no.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah it's a.
Sorry.
Oh God, I don't even know. Yeah.
Can you say what that business is?
Yeah, I think so. It's called Genovation. They do like all of like keypads and stuff like that.
Keypads for computers?
Computer systems. Yeah, like if you go to, I don't know if I'm allowed to name drop here on clients and stuff.
Dude. Don't say the client. Don't say the client. Yeah, don't say the client. You're fine.
Yeah. It's just like, if you go to a gym and you enter in your phone number and stuff, like that's my dad's. If you have like packages that are getting shipped and they check them and stuff, that's like his stuff.
Dude, good for you guys, man.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's all him, man. I mean, the guy was an animal in life. So he business, outdoorsman, like full deal.
So that's where you got your madness from. Because I've worked with you long enough.
A little bit. I mean, my mom's definitely got her. Yeah, my mom's definitely got her wild side for sure. So yeah.
Well, dude, on a deeper level, I mean, death is hard.
Oh yeah.
Let's be real. I don't care if it's a parent, a grandparent, brother, sister, someone close to you. It's a difficult thing to go through. How have you been processing all that and doing that? Because for me, you've gotten to know me pretty well. I have my faith. I think my faith's a lot more grittier. I'm going to still talk crazy and dirty jokes, have a good time, but I know where my heart lies.
Yeah.
But for you, like, how's that been for you, dude? How have you been processing all of that?
I don't know if I've been processing it the best, but I mean, you do what you can. It's just been kind of one thing after another, so I don't know if I've fully like processed everything yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, my dad always kind of raised my sister and I as like, hey, it is what it is. You just got to keep kind of pushing through it.
It's life.
Yeah. It's life.
God, that sounds like my dad, dude.
And for me, like, the guy never complained. I maybe heard him complain once in my life, and he just was that kind of dude, and so I feel like anytime I ever complained about anything, like it was just like, oh, dude, you're soft, you're Templi,
Yeah.
But
the tough guy dad who never wanted a dog.
Yeah.
And then once you got Xerxes, he just melted.
Oh, rolling around, let him lick your face.
So
like,
great. I love that story, dude. It's so great.
I think for me, it's like, I do a lot of like, I play, sport. I play hockey outside of work and stuff, and luckily I've had my girlfriend too, who's been like a real huge help with everything. She's been a big supporter, so that's helped out a bunch. Individuals like yourself, Tim, you were there for me when I was going through all this stuff. So I mean, death is a part of life, and you just hold on to the hope. Like, I don't pretend to know, like I know what's on the other side.
Yeah.
But if there is something, hopefully link up with them again, and hopefully my dog's out there hanging out with them too. So
that'd be super rad. Dude.
Yeah,
I've had a few dogs pass away. I don't know. I think I believe in God, but I don't want to put God in a box.
No.
So you just never know.
Yeah.
You don't never know. People are like, well, there's no animals in heaven. They don't have souls. Like, well, who told you that?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. And I always tell people too, like the Bible those are snippets of everything that Christ did while he was on earth. It's not the whole. It's kind of like a guide, I mean, he's not gonna tell you everything.
No.
So that's why I'm like, dude, we don't know.
Well, it's like
we don't know who's gonna be there.
It's like at the firehouse, it's like a guy tells a story and then it goes down 5 other people.
And it changes 2 different languages?
It is completely different than when it started out. It's like we're so far removed. I mean, who knows? But yeah, it's been tough. I won't lie. Like, there's been good days and bad days. It flows. But just staying busy, sitting there and actually like sitting with your thoughts and going through it, even though it's like horrible at that moment.
Yeah.
And just, trying to tell yourself like, hey, this will pass. You'll get there.
That's something that really stuck with me. I remember hearing a lot younger years. This too shall pass.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes when you're thick of it, it can suck. And you feel like there's no hope. There's no end. And then time goes on. It's a little better. You start working out again, surfing, therapy, whatever it may be, faith. If it's not you, that's totally cool. But then you start realizing like, damn, okay, I can make it through this. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting better. And you start looking back. You're like, holy crap. Like, that was one of the toughest times of my life, and I made it.
Yep.
Like, damn, I learned a lot during that time. And I always tell people it's kind of that forced growth. You have no choice but to go through it. And there's no way around it.
No.
How like a lot of times, right, I'll always show, okay, what's the easy way around this?
Oh, yeah.
There's no easy way around that. You have to go right through that dealing with death. And it's hard. And that's why I'm big on talking, not just talking about firefighting with firefighters or police stuff with police officers, but really getting to the heart of the person, because you still have to deal with life on top of work. And that's why I'm a huge proponent. I think Jordan and I both are for mental health for first responders.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's very important. And I know we have great programs where we work that are free. Huge on it, man. Like, don't be afraid to talk to somebody if it ever gets to that point. Like, not like, what I'm saying, where it's just like, fuck, like, this sucks. Maybe I need to just like throw this back on someone real quick and chat with them, I think it's such a good thing. I do it. What I actually did that was awesome is Cambo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, John Vargas was on here. He works for another fire department, and he's a practitioner in Cambo. Dude, huge.
Yeah.
I haven't felt this good in probably like 20 years. As far as
awesome.
mental clarity, spiritually, physically, everything feels definitely kind of in tune. It's a huge surrender. I remember him telling me that. He was telling me that like first responders, especially firefighters that come and do Cambo, they have a hard time surrendering and not being in control, which is fair. I get it, because we have to kind of be, when we go do our job, like we got to be in full control of what's happening. And he's like, you have to learn to surrender. And I remember that hit me, like surrender. For me, it was surrender all the good that you have, surrender all the bad that's happened, surrender all your pain, surrender everything that's inside of you right now to this process, and really seek this out and see how it feels. And dude, it was wild.
I think
it was wild.
I think it's, and I'm not the best person at it by any means, but I've gotten a lot better at it. And it's like it's the talking, it's literally the community, whether, you don't always want to tell your loved one if you have like a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, or like husband, wife, but like you got to find some kind of outlet to, the ocean is one of the great equalizers.
Oh my God. Yes.
But at the same time, like you still have to find that where you can bounce stuff off of. And I know that sometimes like finding therapists and like doing it on a consistent basis, because they're overloaded.
Yeah.
Because of how much mental illness really is out there.
True.
Or how many
Very true.
Like, people are going through stuff on a day-to-day, it's like, it's tough to get to that point, but I think definitely opening yourself up, surrendering,
Yeah.
whether it's being open-minded too,
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Yeah.
that's one thing that I wasn't always the best at because of how I was raised. You know, it's like you don't complain.
I think it's kind of our generation though.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like all three of us were in that same boat where it was just like it's one way.
yeah.
You don't, it wasn't open-minded. I'm very open-minded to many things now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I'm big on accepting people as they are.
It's life experience, man.
Yeah,
It opens
man.
your mind.
You have to. I mean, whereas like, I was raised in a pretty strict Christian home, and it's like, stay away from the homosexuals. You're like, what are they? What are you guys afraid of? They're still people.
Yeah, great
it's
time,
weird.
yeah.
Yeah, and now some of my really good friends are gay.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with it. That's their choice. Go for it. So I mean, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I totally see what you're getting at.
Yeah, you grow over time, and like the biggest thing, if you're going through stuff, is like you just got to find an outlet.
Yeah.
And it's tough to take that first step, but any step you take is like one in the right direction. It's like once you get moving and you get the process started, it's like, my girlfriend and I, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. It's just like you can't be so bummed out and hate yourself so much when like you don't meet that one little goal that you had for that day. Or, it's like you keep your goals small, you keep your world small. One little success, that's a big deal because that's just one in the series.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a couple steps back every once in a while, but you just got to keep pushing through it. And like, that's kind of what's helped me get through is like, it's like, hey, today was a setback, but
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Totally,
thank you for saying that. It is absolutely okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And I think for a long time, I was afraid of that, of saying, hey, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Trying to put on a face. And the more of a front you put on, it feels like the more you're suffering. Dude, I love that. 100% agree. Sorry, Jordan, go ahead.
No, it's okay. There was a lot to unpack what you guys just said. Starting with don't compartmentalize, and I think that's something that we all probably have in common because it feels like everyone that's in this industry is able to do that very well. And I'm not saying, and I don't mean that you need to just tell everyone everything all the time. You got to find what's right for you, and having, dealing with a loss or, with a struggle or whatever that is, having the opportunity to talk to somebody or a friend or a loved one or a therapist, sometimes I even think that like you don't even have to, it doesn't even have to be talking to somebody. It's having an outlet of an activity. Yep. It's something just whatever that is, just to keep you moving. Right. Because and I like what you said, this too shall pass, time heals all things, like all those like kind of cliche phrases. I feel like, especially as we get older, it's like those are the most true in life in general, and I think the key in that is that you just need to keep moving because if you don't, that's where the bad stuff happens. And sometimes being alone with your thoughts is good.
Yep.
Even though it doesn't feel good and you tend to question everything, but even going through that and then getting to the next day is a victory, right? Or depending on how, wherever that leads you, right? So it's good to hear that, you're finding healthy outlets to do stuff. And like, dude, it's not going to be a fast thing, obviously, with any type of loss, and more specifically that close of a family member, dude. Like, but just keeping that in the back of your head, knowing it's like you said, hey, today sucked, but you know what? Tomorrow's another day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Little victories. I can't remember who it was. It was like a colonel or something, had some speech that was like, every day make your bed.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's
that was
one
the
thing.
Navy SEAL guy.
Yeah. Because one thing that you can check off on the to-do list of the day, you knocked it out first thing. So you're starting off with a win.
It's literally that simple.
Yeah. I don't make my bed every morning, but I try really hard to remember that when I get up and go, there he goes. Hey, I did something great. Starting off on the right foot,
I mean, I'm not tucking corners in or anything, but maybe
it's
basic
it's
little
sloughed over in the general area.
Yeah, more towards her side of the bed than mine. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's
all. I think it's all perspective too, right? I mean, that's whatever impacts a person is definitely going to be big in their life. You don't want to discount that. You don't want to, tell someone else it's not a big deal. But there's a reason why, like, my favorite poster is this pale blue dot I have on the wall. And you can see that little blue dot through that sun ray that's coming off the solar panels of the Voyager. And that was, February 14th, 1990?
Yep.
That's the last picture it took before it left our galaxy. And I'm thinking, every time I look at that, I'm like, wow, on that little speck is a smaller speck. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. I think I'm gonna be okay. But it's still, life is still hard. You still got to get to your stuff, dude.
Yeah, I'm not in the vastness of space right now.
Yeah,
at
exactly,
least.
right.
My mind can't handle that.
Yeah, dude.
Well, and honestly, too, like, we got the picture right here of my dog. Like, that was a huge, like, that was my go-to. That was my therapy dog right there.
He's your boy, dude.
Yeah, so he helped a ton. So I definitely recommend people getting dogs.
Oh, absolutely.
As long as you take care of them, though.
100%.
Yeah.
You better take care of him.
Yeah,
dude.
you better.
You know what's a better question I have for you? Because I love that you say you're open-minded. UAPs, unknown aerial phenomena, or as we used to call them, UFOs.
Yeah, why didn't we just stick with UFO?
Because people are weird. Well, the new word's UAP, but with all the things coming out now, the government confirming, there's video of these things. We don't know what they are. What are your thoughts on it, dude?
Oh, man.
Give it to me.
I think we're the only form of life in this universe.
Boring. All right, this was going good.
Terrible.
I think that to say that we're the only ones out there, I think that's crazy, because there's just the vastness of space, and then the fact that it's ever expanding.
I know.
I can't even begin.
They say it's getting bigger.
It's getting bigger.
It's expanding. I was like,
but it's
what?
getting bigger in a certain direction.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I watched some Neil deGrasse Tyson stuff.
Dude, that guy, when he talks sometimes,
I can't.
it's like...
I love it. I can only understand a quarter of what he's saying, but the way he talks makes it seem like I should be able to understand what he's saying.
Yeah, like why?
The black hole goes in this far. This thing, it's got a subtle thing. Wasn't that crazy? I'm like, yeah.
Well, dude, he's so
So
passionate
we're basically
about it.
screwed, right?
Right.
That's all I'm
I'm
getting
over
from
here
this.
coloring with my crayons still, like trying to figure it all out.
I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and it was talking about I think it was somewhere in Zimbabwe, where this bunch of 60 school children, 60 school kids and the teachers all saw a craft land and a being get out, and the kids ran up to it, and it was talking to them telepathically. All the stories are confirmed, line up, and then they had a quote-unquote men in black come up to the teachers and tell them, if you say anything, we will ruin your careers. We'll tell everyone you're crazy.
Man, if people are going after
Kids.
you in Zimbabwe about your career.
Bro, isn't that
You're like,
crazy?
have you looked around?
Yeah.
No,
I was like, you're going to take our cow?
well, you hear,
Jesus.
yeah, you hear some of these, and you're kind of like, "What the? This is nuts." So why? My question is, with a lot of this, why do they keep wanting to squash it? Why? What's if we're seeing so much, and all these stories are so valid? Even there was one about a preacher, missionary. He was in a far off land. I think it was actually in Africa somewhere, another Zimbabwe one. But he was in a village where he was a missionary. And he came out because he heard a bunch of people screaming. He said there was a ship, a UFO that was just hovering. He says about, probably 500-600 feet off the ground. And he saw men standing on top of it in the end, looking down, watching. He said it's there for about an hour. And they would wave, and the people on there would wave back. And then it took off.
What if it
And this is a guy who's like a stout preacher, missionary, like trying to save people for Jesus. And he's like, I never believed in this stuff, but I can't lie to you. I can't doubt what I saw. This is what happened. This is what the village saw. This is what I saw.
when it wasn't like little green men or
No,
anything.
exactly.
It was like what if it's like us coming back from
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't
Theory.
Dude, oh my gosh.
I've always said that. What if it's us coming back?
Well, it's like I've watched that ancient
Ancient aliens?
No, not Ancient Aliens. It's the one with Graham Hancock or something. Ancient Civilization.
Ancient Apocalypse.
Ancient Apocalypse.
Ancient apocalypse.
Yes, like stuff like that. Like you can't help but like
Makes you think.
they were so advanced back then. Like in our small amount of time that we've been here with the advancements we've made. Like, why couldn't they have done the same thing in even longer span,
Illuminati.
I think I honestly, it's like, obviously the question is super complex, but I also think it could be simple as far as why that there isn't a huge, they're freaking there. We know.
Do you think it would destroy religion?
I think what it would do is just cause massive havoc. You know, and whether it destroys religion or it makes people question religion in a more of an aggressive way, it counters historians in a lot of different ways. These structured belief systems that have been implemented for so long, now you're introducing something that, even though there might be things that can touch on it, but it's not. Now we're confirming that. So I feel like, I mean, look, we had a pandemic. And people were getting trampled for toilet paper. So if you came out and they were like, yeah, there's
very good
freaking
point.
beings coming down. They could visit us every once in a while, and it's a real thing. So, you know, hey, if you see it, say something. Try to play it off casual. There's no way. They'd freak out. People would just, we would all probably freak out to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would be like, I'm in.
I knew it.
Yeah, I was like, finally, you know, I felt it.
Yeah,
Seemed
take
real.
me with you.
Yeah.
Take me with you.
Is it cooler up there?
Why are you
know.
back? Why would you come back?
Yeah, you see what's going on over here?
Yeah.
Is that appealing? How bad was your planet?
Hey, do you remember the time we went surfing?
Yes.
You were riding a longboard and you didn't like it.
No,
I just want to throw this out there right
It's
now.
a longboard. Yeah.
Well, hold
We're
on.
gonna wrap this up a little bit. I just want to know when you were like, "Man, I don't fucking longboard." I was sad.
Hold on.
I was like, "Bro, come on."
Hold on. The longboard you gave me was a boat.
Dude, they're 10 feet. All my boards are 10 feet.
It was
most of them.
It was a boat. I had no idea how to float that thing. And
Is your first time surfing?
no, I
okay.
shortboard, but like,
Oh, okay.
like I don't longboard very often, and if at all. And he put me on a longboard, and I was like a duck out of water. Yeah,
I had a great time.
Yeah, but you're good.
or a fish out of water, not a duck. I was like a duck on a pond. I don't know.
Dude, I have a similar experience every time I ever attempt a longboard. It's just like your positioning and the ability to turn quicker. It's just not. And it's like it's like a completely different way to surf, you know. He's really good at it, though.
He's really good at
and
it.
I'm just like, I'm good. I think I'm going to stick with the
I kept
shortboards.
kicking my toes because I'm used
That's
to
the first time I seen somebody kick on a longboard. I remember I told you, I was like, I don't think you need to kick, dude. I think you just got to paddle. Like, don't kick. Don't worry about kicking.
I just felt completely. Yeah, I was. I
had a lot of fun. It was funny watching you kick, though. I was like,
Yeah.
you don't need to kick on a longboard, babe. Like,
Yeah, some
just kick
surfers
away.
out there like you should know how to do both. I'm like,
Like,
all right.
Well, stick me in a
bro,
shortboard. Ain't nothing gonna happen, dude.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, dude, did you see the guy who leaked the government documents showing that Joe Biden has been lying and that we have military in Ukraine?
Oh yeah.
And they erased this. They caught this dude and he's going to jail. Now, my question is, do you think he's a patriot or do you think he effed up against the government? Because he's showing the truth. I want to play both sides here. I want to put it out there. You know, because we're being lied to, and I think he showed, like, hey, look, this is the truth. The government's fucking straight lying to you and telling you nothing's happening over there with us, and yet there's a lot happening.
I could say more often than not the government is probably lying to us.
Oh, absolutely.
But to sit there and when there's an active conflict going on in the world and you're a superpower and to say that you're not there and you're not involved, I mean, that's like saying, you know, we weren't in Vietnam in 63 or 65 or whatever it was. It's like, Of course we are.
Yeah.
You're trying to stop. It's not communism anymore necessarily. It's like now we're just trying to stop Russia and all
Right.
that. To say that you're not on that like big stage with billions or trillions of dollars at stake, like there's no way that we wouldn't be there. So as far as that guy goes, I don't know, man. Like,
Bro, he's going to be suicided.
oh yeah.
He'll be gone.
You know, he's going to get killed in
It's
prison.
like I
There's
always
no
tell
way.
you, dude. I'm like I would never kill myself, dude. Like
Yeah, I know.
if I go missing, something
Yeah.
funny's up.
Seriously, right? And that just happened.
That was a big one. Oh, it was big news.
But what was very interesting was that it had a ton of publicity for the arrest, right? And then it was kind of this like, who is this guy? What did he do? Where has he been? Blah, blah, blah. There wasn't a lot of information as far as what he leaked. Now, there are things out there that you can probably see, whether those are true or not, but that was what it was leaning towards, is that it's basically showing that we've had physical participation in the active conflict, where the sell to the United States people is that we're just sending money and military resources as far as ammunition, guns, tanks, what have you. And it's like $1 billion worth. So it's a pretty big amount of money. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. My thought is that we won't hear anything else about it because the media,
They're not going to cover it.
they're not going to cover it. But again, right, it just goes back to this like kind of overarching hypocrisy that it's like do as I say, not as I do kind of vibe the government seems to give out.
But, you know, both of you guys are intelligent on this when we talk about it, but isn't President Biden supposed to ask permission from Congress to put troops on the ground in another country?
Correct.
Yeah, like an act.
So why isn't that being made into a big deal right now? That's what I don't get.
So I think like what you were saying is that the truth of the matter is that probably happens more often than not, right? Like if there's any kind of conflicts that we have any aid going into, to think that us as the United States aren't sending people to, whether it's helping training soldiers or maybe helping them fight, whatever
advisory position.
Right. There's sidestepping, I'm sure, because at the end of the day, the one thing that we can at least go back and track financially is that big players make a lot of money when we can funnel funds through AKA, or I said AKA, I don't even know if that's the right word, but like, if we're, we got to build 100 new helicopters because we just sent all these over there, right? So we're the military industrial complex, right?
War's good for the GDP, man.
Oh, it is, right? So, but to answer your original question, is he a patriot or is he a traitor? That is super interesting, because if the information that he puts out there potentially gives intel to quote unquote the bad guys and those people can get hurt, well, that's bad. But is it worse than basically being like, hey, our whole system's been lying to the American people as far as what we're actually doing over there?
Yeah,
it's a theological or the ethical question, right? Yeah. They both can be bad, but which one's worse? I mean, dude, that's taxpayer money going over there that we're funneling through other things. I think that's a big problem, But again, I don't think anything's going to happen. This poor dude in jail, we got 3 weeks maybe, you think?
Well, it's like, what's his face? What was the guy that leaked all the stuff before he was working?
Assange?
Snowden.
Snowden. Not Julian Assange, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of just is gone now too. You don't hear too much about that anymore either. And that was like,
that's a good point. That's a really good point.
That
was way major.
Major information leaks.
Yeah, this guy's done. I don't think he's going to make it out of jail, unfortunately, or wherever he's gone. But it's really interesting to me because it's big news, and yet it's not big news.
No,
it should be being talked about all over the media, and it's not.
No.
Everyone's just like, oh, Trump's fucking arrested for... It's like, come on. There's so many big things happening in our world that are not being covered, and I think when certain things go down, people are going to be shocked. I'm like, how are you shocked? You should have been paying attention, dude.
It's so... It's the blatancy of it. I think that's frustrating more than anything. It's
yes.
Like the at least... I don't know if this is the right way to look at it, but at least like a lot of like the corruption and stuff was behind closed doors back in the day, back in the day. But like, I feel like it's so blatant in your face, and you just don't know what to believe anymore.
It's true.
I can see why people have so many issues these days, because it's just so hard to like figure out like what is reality.
Yeah, what's the truth?
Yeah,
what is the freaking truth?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's a weird time to be alive. I just want to bring it up because I thought it was pretty big news the past few days. I was like, let's see what you guys think about it. But.
Oh, it's huge news. I got to riff on all this for a while.
Oh,
if you really
I know.
Want to listen?
No, well, we got our monthly review coming up. We'll save it for that. But Ollie, thank you for coming on the podcast, dude. Being so open and chat with us, dude. Your boy Xerxes, his picture will remain on that wall forever, dude. He is a great dog. I appreciate the time I got to spend with him, but. Thank you for coming on here, dude. Seriously, I'm glad to have you on my crew. You've become a really good friend, and for you to go through what you went through this past year with your father passing away, your mom having the cancer, now your dog, but to still do well at work and perform and be who you are is very exceptional. I think you need to hear that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, great job, dude.
Thank you. And thank you for having me and for having my boy on the Wall of Fame here. I mean, that's more than I could ever ask for. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Thanks. Just kind of echo what Tim was saying. Just thanks for being very open with the process of it. And I know that's probably uncomfortable, but I think that the takeaway is that it's good. Like we were saying, talking about it, and like hopefully if anyone's listening that's struggling, there's avenues, there's ways to get yourself in a better position for tomorrow. And thank you. Yeah, it was fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, thanks.
Glad to meet you.
Yeah, dude, and you're the first guest in our new setup.
Yeah.
And this Nick Cage carpet is absolute
Dude,
fire.
it's huge.
This thing is amazing.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's probably a lot of stuff on this carpet from Nick Cage, and I'm not cleaning it. I
The
don't
world's
care.
greatest actor, hands down.
Absolutely, dude.
You guys have been working together.
Oh yeah,
No,
we talk about it all the time, dude. Yeah, I love this carpet. That's why I'm like, everyone's taking their shoes off when we go on this carpet now. But anyways, you guys ready to go to do a Let's Go on 3? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening in. If you liked what you just listened to, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. Please follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And a big shout out to Stephen Clark, our sound editor. He's a huge part of this team that is unseen. It's 89 Barbers, our first sponsor. Look good, feel good, be great. That's 2 locations, Orange, California, and Long Beach, California. Book your appointment online, 89barbers.com. Bye, everybody.